Are there any things that you're especially worried about going into his new presidency?
Well, it's not just me. Every every large movement has contradictions or paradoxes or challenges. So this MAGA movement is now incorporating people across the spectrum, whether it's RFK, Tulsi Gabbard, all the way over to Horowitz, Andreessen, David Sachs, Elon Musk, Ramaswamy. So you've got a lot of different, and then you have the Steve Bannon core. So what that means is take taxes for the middle class. So if you say you 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 float the idea that you're going to reduce taxes for veterans, first responders, waitresses, Social Security, you're talking $1 trillion. And then you've got Vivek and Elon saying they want to cut between 1 and 2 trillion, but they can't touch entitlements or defense. So you're down to 30% of the budget, but you're going to cut a trillion. So the theory is that by cutting those taxes and the regular tax cuts, you're going to grow the economy more than 2% GDP, maybe get 3, and then you're going to get another $1 trillion. But again, nobody's ever quite done that. Cut taxes like Reagan did, and then say that you're going to control spending or cut. Reagan didn't do it, so he got deficits, and so did George W. Bush. The only person that's balanced a budget for 3 years since 1970, 73, I think Nixon did it, was Bill Clinton, and he made a deal with Gingrich. So for every tax cut Gingrich wanted, there was a spending cut for Gingrich, a tax cut. Spending cut for both of them, actually. And then there's the MAGA protocol is you don't get involved with optional Middle East wars. So you're against getting involved in Ukraine, and you don't want to go in Syria. But last time he inherited sort of a uneasy world where you had to restore deterrence. Well, this time it's worse. So he's inheriting a world following the skedaddle from Afghanistan, the Chinese balloon, 2 theater wars, a weakened military, 40,000. So there are going to be people who test his resolve. For example, he says if they don't turn the hostages, he's going to have to unload on, and everybody supports that. So what I'm getting at is the MAGA people are going to have to understand that to restore deterrence, so you don't have to even think about getting an option, you're going to have to use force. Sometimes that's going to be an optional. That's another challenge, I think. And you saw the one about the H-1B visas. That's another one. So MAGA says we're not going to bring in foreigners to do the work Americans can do. The Vivek, Elon says, but we're going to bring in people that we need in Silicon Valley. And between those two poles, you're going to have to find a compromise. And I think the compromise is if they're only coming in with BAs, and there's a lot of Americans can do that. If they're coming in with masters and PhDs and they're unique in their field, then of course bring them. But these are just 3 examples. And the cause of that is that they had not won the popular vote, the Republicans, in 20 years since George W. Bush, who barely did it in 2004. And they had lost 7 out of the last 8 popular votes. So to break that legacy, baleful, they had to expand the party. So it was really amazing. They got record numbers of youth. Trump did for the Republican Party, blacks, Hispanics, and of course disaffected Democrats. He brought in the tech money, but to do that, you're expanding the people who have a seat at the table. And so there's a lot of people who reflect views that were important for him getting elected, but they're going to be in contradiction with the hardcore MAGA base.